it's April with April Rising, and today's podcast I am so excited about. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about a topic that I love to dive into, and a topic that I actually do coaching on once a month with a 3 day quantum leap. And it's all about your neurology. I am so passionate about this. When I was pregnant with my last child, my only boy, I dove into learning about neurology so much that I learned that if I was to play a certain type of music and put headphones on my belly while he was in there, while he was growing and his brain was developing, that I would embed musical talents into my son. And he is now almost 5, and it's astonishing seeing how well that has actually played out. With that, I have learned a ton. With your neurology, most of it you have had no control over. Most people are living robotic lives. And when you are growing as a child, you are not intentionally developing your brain, right? Your parents are. And really, most of them are unintentionally developing your your brain or your children's brain. And so I first and foremost would love to invite you to be an intentional liver. If you could be somebody who will live intentionally, just comment below and say intentional. It is so important because that is you gaining the reins back to your life and also intentionally raising your children. So, like I said, I would put headphones on my belly the entire time I was pregnant. My son is now almost 5. He loves the drums. He makes up lyrics to songs. He picks up melodies super quickly. He loves every type of music. He has zero stage fright. He goes up in front and sings in front of people. It is crazy to see how much musical talent that boy has already. It's very exciting, actually. I love it. And it's cool to see that that intentional parenting actually pays off. But that also works for you. Like I said, once a month, I do a class called a 3 day quantum leap. And it's crazy to think that a concept of only 3 days could change the trajectory of your life, but it can. I actually wrote a workbook to go along with this class that I give all of my students, and we go through the sessions each evening. We also have different pinpoints that you go through throughout the day. I love it. I love neurology, and I love it because even the Bible says the renewing of your mind. We are supposed to renew our minds. You are programmed by most unintentional parenting parents, and then you become a person that they unintentionally made, and you are unintentionally living, and you're like, it's just me. Well, that's because you are now making the conscious choice of that being you. And I don't think that very many people grasp on to the idea that you're giving off vibes. You are like an electronic magnetic field frequency, however you want to put it. You are giving that off. And if you think about it, the radio's giving off frequencies. The remotes that you use all the time, they're giving off frequencies, right? Because we're clicking it and it's doing something. Everything around us, we believe, has some type of energy or some type of frequency, or it's giving off some type of whatever. But why wouldn't you believe that about yourself? Here's the thing. I just finished up one of my 3 day quantum leaps, and one of my students in the class, she was so excited because over these 3 days, these random things kept happening. And she was like, I all of a sudden, got this check in the mail that I had been waiting for all year long. And then, by day 3, I found out I'm getting an inheritance. I had no idea that was even going to happen. And then this person randomly came up to me and they apologized to me and held themselves accountable. And it's been months and months since the issue even happened. And so many magnificent things were happening in her life. And by the end of day 3, I was like, don't give up on it now. Like, keep doing that. And the crazy thing is we also talked about how when you are in a yuck mood and you're depressed and you're feeling low and you're feeling negative and blah, 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 all those great, amazing things, they don't tend to happen. And it just makes you feel worse, right? because the vibe, the frequency, the electronic magnetism that you're throwing out there is So what you're getting back is more That's how this works. So if you can consciously stop and say, you know what, I'm tired of the I want to attract greatness, and I want to attract income, and I want to attract, people that are uplifting and positive in my life, then you got to be one of those people. Because an uplifting, positive, amazing person doesn't want to be around a person. In your neurology, it's not your fault. First of all, your neurology is not your fault. You did not choose to be how you are. And I know that sounds so weird to so many of you, but you didn't. But now that you've watched this video, now you have newfound knowledge and you are now aware. And so the choices that you make from today forward, you are choosing. So you can make the choice to be like, I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be unmotivated. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be that anymore. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to be positive. I'm going to see the greatness in life. I'm going to be inspiring. I'm going to fulfill my purpose. I'm going to be happy and joyful. And you can choose to pivot, and you can be like, my income is increasing. My health is getting better. My weight is going down. You can start speaking these things over your life. And you will be astonished by how quickly those things start being attracted to you. I just had another teammate, one of my leaders on one of my teams. She just messaged me before this. It was kind of the inspiration to me doing this. Is she started on this new thing, and she's posting about it. And she's finally, after years of trying, seeing results in her body. And she's so excited. And just her vibe and her frequency is just high. It's just vibing. And she said, all of a sudden, this random person in Florida that I met a long time ago, they just came out of nowhere. And now they want to try this with me. And I'm like, girl, it's because you vibing high. You're up there. You just got to vibe high. And yes, things happen. Even when we're vibing high and we have a high frequency and we're consciously, building new neurons in our brain, things happen. But it's your response to those things that matters. Your response. You are in control of how you respond. That's so freeing. You don't have to be miserable and grumpy and have no friends. You don't have to be that person. But you've got to take accountability for yourself. So when the next time yuck happens to you, be like, yep, guess it was just my turn, but that's okay. Something great must be on its way now. And what's the lesson that I can learn from this? What are cool things that I can learn? Or who can I help now that I've learned this knowledge from this mistake that I just did? And you can flip the narrative at any point. You can flip the narrative. Your neurology is in your brain, and it's like these little pathways, little crevices. And by the time you're 18, the ones that you have repeatedly are the habits and the traditions and the daily rituals and those things. The more you think it and the more you do it, the deeper those crevices get. So don't get me wrong, when you start to build new neurological pathways, the crevice is very light. So it's very easy to hop out of there and go into old familiar patterns. But you have to stay in the conscious and stay into those little ones and just keep thinking about it and speaking it and telling other people and talking about it, being excited about it. And eventually you'll start digging and digging and digging, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually it will become a part of your subconscious mind, and you can relax your conscious mind a little bit, but you have to consciously do it for a while, which is why we do the quantum leap in 3 days, because I help you and I coach you get through those things and work through the key points of your day, because there are actually key points of your day where your subconscious turns off and your conscious awareness is a lot more alive and open to new possibilities and new ways of thinking. So just know that you don't have to be stuck in the ways that you are. And now that you've seen this video, you are now held accountable to yourself, that there is a new way that you could be. And if you're choosing now to stay the overweight, grouchy, no friends, negative person who's always broken, always a victim, and blah 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 blah, y'all know, you're choosing to be that person. At any point you can choose to flip the narrative and change your life. And if I can help people do it in 3 days and get them on the right trajectory, then surely you can give yourself some time and do it. And if you want to sign up for one of my classes, they're totally free. You just have to go to aprilrising.biz and you can go sign up there for the next one by doing once a month. All right, guys. So thanks for listening. And remember, you are now choosing who you are. So if you don't like it, you better fix it.